First things first, if you're getting into the Keldon Johnson business, you're getting into the high energy, renewable, self-sustained energy business. And let me tell you, cousin, business is booming, right? So that's the first thing that Keldon Johnson brings to the table. He's going to give you secondary opportunities like this one, just going in there himself around 4 guys, snatching rebounds. And then automatically he guards the closest guy to him on the inbounds. He can finish. He's screaming. He's yelling. He's clenching his fists. He's yelling, let's go. He's making things happen. You're in that high energy hustle business. Look at him, just gets the rebound, takes off, finds someone down the lane. He's going to be able to just get your motor going for your team. That's probably the best thing about him. When he goes in here and he's able to get his own rebound and put it back and just fire everyone up. He's in the business of creating his own opportunities to impact the game. You know, he doesn't need the ball in his hands. He doesn't need the play called for him. He just needs to be in the right place at the right time, and he does a good job of putting himself there. If we're going to talk about Keldon Johnson and what he can do with the ball on the offensive side of the floor, it all starts with transition, right? In transition, he's lethal going to the rim. He loves to get contact. If you're the defender and you have Keldon Johnson coming at you, you better be ready to take a bump, right? And he has incredible hands and he can finish. So not only is he great going to the hole in transition, but he's also great going to the hole in the half court, which we're about to see here in a moment. Here we come, still in the transition pretty much, but able to make one move and finish. The good thing also about Keldon is that he can finish with the right hand. He can finish with the left hand. After taking bumps like that one, still be under control, have balance, be low to the ground, and have hit the ability to go up and finish after contact is amazing. Here he is in the half court now. Now, if you look at it here, we have everybody on one side of the floor. Chemezi was there too. Let's rewind it for a second and just look at how we set up Keldon to work. We set him up in space. We set him up to give him the ability to go right or to go left and have a clear line drive to the basket, because he doesn't mess around. He's not trying to dance with you. Keldon's a bulldog. He's he's a beast. He wants to be physical. So here we go, clearing the space out for him and then just letting him go to work. I mean, that's a tough shot. I mean, let's look at his trajectory angle on this shot. Look at this right there. That's Keldon Johnson fading away, you know, and still having enough soft touch on him to go ahead and put the ball in the basket. I mean, that's pretty tough. So here he is again in the half court, just turning the corner and going, not messing around. And one. He wants it. He wants the N1. Now here he is catching the ball. He just received this pass, and the other guy's clearing through. I love how on this play he's able to read the defense. So he makes a move, great move, gets by his defender, sees that there's help coming, so he doesn't just put his head down and go. He's more of a, okay, let me see what I'll do now. Let me see, just take 1 or 2 more dribbles, bounce off. And you know what? This guy that's guarding me is way too small, so I'm just going to rise up. Right? It's great, smart, heady when he's going to the rim. Here he is, just off a driving dish. Pump fake, wants to get to the rim. Again, too small, too strong, big body. Now here he is in transition. He's going to get a little handoff here off the wing. Great action. I love that action. In transition, making a defense switch like that, and Keldon doing a great job of eyes looking at the rim, I'm sure. Shows a pump fake, gets his guy on the first step, and he just blows right by him. Takes 1 bump. That's fine. Keldon's used to taking 1, 2, sometimes 3 bumps on the way to the rim. And goes ahead and lays it up there, and here we go. Right, so he's pretty lethal in transition. Off a little screen here. We don't use Keldon a lot in the screen and roll. I think most of his touches come in opportunities like this. He does have pick and roll actions. Don't get me wrong, which we're gonna see here in a little bit. But his objective is always to go to the rim, and he can jam it on you. Yeah, so he's able to finish on both sides of the floor. He catches and goes, doesn't mess around. When he catches here at the top of the key, that's a real lethal spot for Keldon. Here he is coming off a double screen, and he's going to go ahead and just do something that you probably don't tell your players to do, which is try to drive between 2 or 3 guys. But Keldon, look where he's taking off here. He's taking off from the 3-point line. He knows that all he has to do is absorb some contact. There it is. Great hands. Great use of the glass. So Keldon does get worked in the pick, go to the rim. I mean, he's never going to come off a pick and roll and really look to create for others or hit the roll guy or the pop guy who's setting the screen. He's looking to get to the rim, and so he should. One move, takes one bump, 2 bumps, let's go. So strong. I mean, if we talk about something that the San Antonio Spurs are missing, it's kind of what Keldon brings to the table. You know, his aggressiveness, his passion, his ability to finish and draw fouls. He's not a great shooter, which we're going to talk about a little bit later, but he brings all the intangibles and he elevates your team just by being on the floor. I want you to look at this play really quick. Look at the score. It's 117-117. Overtime, 4.3 seconds. Our ball on the sideline, right? We're trying to execute this play, get a bucket, and win this game, right? So here we go. We set it up. It looks like it's going to be a little like lob action they're looking right here for Chimezi. It's not there. But he throws it. Quindary throws it anyway. And look at this defender just all over it. Gets a tip on the ball, but the ball ends up in Keldon's hands, right? So here he goes. And what does Keldon do? He turns his shoulder, takes a couple bumps, and scores. Boom. Killer. 0.9 seconds left. I don't know what happens here at the end of this game, but that's a crucial moment. And he's stepping up. Here he is again off the pick and roll. If they're going to be in space like the way they were right there, he's going to find a way to get to the rim. Here we go. Keldon can shoot the ball. I'm not saying he can't. It's just that he knows his spots. He's very selective about his spots when he is shooting the ball. You're never going to see him really shoot too many threes. I mean, I'll look it up later how many he shoots, but everything he wants to do is in the mid-range game. Everything is inside of the rim for Keldon. And if you were to tell me this, if I were to look at the shot selections that Keldon takes, I would say that they remind me a lot of Tony Parker's shot selection. Now, I'm not saying he is Tony Parker, but the shots they take are very similar. I mean, how many times have we seen Tony Parker just catch here and do this? You know, we've seen Tony do that a lot. And Keldon has the ability to do the same thing. He's just not. Keldon has the ability to do the same. Keldon has the ability to take those same shots that Tony Parker does. I mean, look at this. When he's catching on the 3, he's not going to take this. He sees all this open space next to him. Look where we put Quindary on the left side of the screen. Look at this defender. What is he doing? Why is he guarding Quindary way out there at half court? What a loser. Okay, so anyways, just sink back in, bro. And then Keldon can't go to the rim so easy. Come on, man. Anyways, Keldon is going to take his guy one way, 2 ways. Oh, you know what they're doing? They're no catching Quindary. Okay, okay, I get it. Quindary probably. Oh no, it's 4-0. It's early in the game. Why are they going to why are they no catching Quindary Weatherspoon right now? Okay. I guess Spoon's having a I guess his reputation is pretty well good right now in the G League. Okay, anyways, Keldon takes his guy one way, and look at his little floater. I mean, his touch on the ball is amazing. I mean, the way he finishes at the rim is amazing, and his touch on his jumper is pretty soft as well. So really, it's just a matter of him getting comfortable and learning what shots are going to be available for him. Like this one, this is probably statistically one of the worst shots in the NBA, but Keldon hit it. You know what I mean? And look, if Keldon's right foot, this one right here, doesn't plant inside of that 3, if it's outside of the 3 and this becomes a 3-point shot, it's probably not going in. But his mid-range game is solid. Keldon does a great job of getting into the paint and kicking out to shooters. Once he starts getting in there and they have to start collapsing on him, look, drawing all 5 of his players. It's just like, okay, well, let's just spot up and let's swing the ball until we get an open shooter, right? In transition, here he is again. He's just leading the break. I mean, nice and easy passes. Doesn't make things too difficult. And he's just a baller. You know, he just knows how to move the ball. This read right here up the floor is actually a pretty smart play, not coming from a point guard, right? And here he is again, collapsing on 2 or 3 guys and just kicking out to shooters. Okay, let's take a look at what the Spurs are doing with Keldon when they're playing against a zone, because a zone is supposed to keep players like Keldon outside of the paint and not give them driving angles to the rim, right? That's what zones are for. They force you to take outside shots. But we're so smart. The coach right here, coach over here with the Austin Spurs, is so smart at because he puts Keldon Johnson here at the free throw line. Now what this does is when Quindary here is able to get on the ball, it makes him only have to go up to it creates a one-on-one opportunity with Keldon and somebody, or maybe a one-on-two, and we know how strong Keldon is with the ball, so all he has to do now is catch. At this point, instead of catching out here on the wing, out here on the three-pointer, no, let's give him space to just do 1 or 2 dribbles and go to work. And so right here, a nice move, dribbles right, come back left, and 1. You know, that's a zone buster for you. Usually when you think about zone busters, you think about 3-point shooters that shoot you out of the zone. No, this is someone who operates at the free throw line or at the short corner. And here he is again, catching here against the zone. Just bullies him, man. And that's going against the big. That's the big guy in the zone. You know, the smaller guys are out here on top. And Keldon Johnson is just so sneaky athletic and so sneaky strong. Like, he doesn't look that tall, but really he's long and he's able to do some work down there in the post. Tough shot. Here he is again. Check out this zone. It's a 3-2. 3 guys on top, 2 guys in the bottom. They put Keldon at the free throw line. Now look at Drew Ebanks down there on the floor, who's doing a hell of a job just sealing this guy. So he's like, come on Keldon, this way. There we go. Oh no, I got you. Great opportunity there. Keldon's asking for the foul. Let's go. But Drew's like, hey, no, don't call it. I need these points. I see you, Drew. On January 3rd, the Austin Spurs played the Greensboro Swarm. I was here at this game. It's actually a great game to be at. If you're ever in the Austin area, go swing by Austin Spurs game, man. They actually hooked it up. I was sitting pretty close to the front, and it was just a great experience. You can check out my Instagram, a couple of pictures and stuff that I took from that game. But when you're looking at what Keldon Johnson can bring to the table, ultimately it's stuff like this, and this game was a perfect example. We're in the 4th quarter here, 32 seconds left. We're down by 6, right? We draw up this great play right now for Jeff Ledbetter to hit this 3 to cut it to 3, right? So boom. Now look at Keldon right here in the center of the screen. He picks up ball automatically. He does that very well, right? Same play. Here he goes. He can do things like this, create opportunities for you to get back into the game when you're down and there's only seconds left, right? 30 seconds left. Ball gets inbounded. Jeff, great job contesting here, and Keldon Johnson does a fantastic job. Sorry that little meter there is in the way, but forcing him out of bounds without fouling. The way he does that is by using his body. We see right here, Keldon pushes off with his hip, forces him out of bounds, pushes him down, but that's not a foul. That's smart. That's a smart no call by the ref. I mean, if he's not whacking at his arms or whatever, it's not a reach. This guy with the ball has got to do a better job of just not, maybe just being a little bit more under control. So Keldon Johnson takes advantage of that. So we get an opportunity. We get the ball back, and look at him all pumped up, right? It's our ball. He gets up. Let's go, right? So then here we go again. Next time down, Jeff hits a tough shot. He was just clutch down here down the stretch. Boom, knocks it in. Keldon's looking already. Look at him. He's on next play mode. He's like, let's go. So then here they are. We foul them. Let's see what's the score right now. Let's let this little meter go away. Okay, we're down by 1. Okay, down by 1. Here we go. Keldon Johnson actually picks up an offensive foul. He's like, wait, what? No, okay, whatever. Next play down. Keldon Johnson comes down here, picks up on, makes the guy turn it over again, just by being aggressive with the ball, getting after it, making it tough. Him and Jeff have a nice trap going on here. Clean swipe. There you go. Ball gets poked out on Keldon, but what do they call? A foul. Oh, they call the foul. They call the foul on this right there. Boom. That little push. That's what this ref is calling this on. So Keldon goes to the free throw line, right? Big moment. We're down by 2. We need these 2 free throws. 15 seconds left. Boom. Sinks the first one. Sinks the second one. Doesn't have to be a great shooter to have a clutch gene to knock it down. He's just tough. He's bigger than the moment. Look at that defensive play following that. So let's go to overtime. That was all Keldon too. I mean, you want to talk about one-on-one defense, right? And really, just does it matter? Does anything else matter than a play like this? 8 seconds left to go. It's tied up. They have an opportunity to win the game. Who do you guard on? Who do you guard ball? Keldon. If I was the other team, I maybe would have tried to switch that and get someone else on the ball, because Keldon, he's a hound, baby. He's gonna go and get that ball. Creates a great opportunity. And not only that, but puts in the extra effort after the defensive effort he just gave to go ahead and dive out of bounds to save this ball to Quindary. Presence of mind. I mean, you got to be smart. He must have known he was there, because you don't save the ball underneath your own basket, underneath their own basket, because they can score and win the game, right? So he snaps it out there to Quindary. I don't know what they call. Okay, but anyways, great. Oh, they call out of bounds, right? I don't know about that. Anyways. You get the effort. Quindary does a good job. So, and then they end up going to overtime, right? So just great effort by Keldon Johnson there at the end of regulation. If it wasn't for him making those plays on the defensive end, I see you, Drew. They wouldn't have had an opportunity at overtime. And then in overtime, Drew Ebanks stepped up and finished this game off. I know we're talking about Keldon, but this game was all about Keldon's defensive effort at the end of regulation, and that's what he brings to the table, man. I mean, he gives you opportunities that aren't there to win basketball games, extra opportunities, and that's why I think he's eventually. I mean, he's getting called up all the time by the Spurs. Eventually, I think he's gonna get some playing time soon, because we need what he's got. What he's got, we need, as a team. So, there's a spot for him in our future, and I think it's gonna be sooner than later that we see Keldon Johnson on the floor for the Spurs, not just stressed out on the sideline. Yeah, let's go. Looking around. Let's get out of here. Let's go home.